All right, we are live. We are live.
Great.
And a good afternoon, or a good evening, or maybe even a good morning. We are coming to you live from the Low Vision Shop in Timonium, Maryland. It's my honor to have with me Dr. Bryan Wolynski from OrCam. Thank you so much, Bryan, for joining me here today
Of course.
and
No,
making the
thank you.
trip down.
Thank you. No, this is my, I think, first time out of the island.
Out of the island that's from out of New York. So hopefully you can see us. We are masked up and we are, doing everything we can to be socially distanced and to be able to do this in a safe and productive manner. But we're very grateful to have everyone here today. And we are looking forward to this webinar. This is something that we've been planning for quite some time. And I've been trying to find, get an excuse to get Dr. Wilinski down to Baltimore, and I think we finally made it happen. So
we did, and I'm really happy to be here because it's an amazing facility that you have here, and I'm so happy to see it and be here live for it. So
awesome.
It's worth it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know it's, these days it's been challenging. We've all been, a lot of us have been, really isolated and indoors. So I'm happy that we were able to get you to get out of New York. As you know, I commute every week, and just for the record, I get my COVID testing every week. I got one last night, so I'm negative. So we're all good to go here. And, we are really doing everything in our power to keep things moving forward and making sure that we are continuing with providing you with great content. One of the actually most interesting things, I saw you actually out at CSUN, correct? We were out at CSUN. You were there, right?
Right.
Yes, I was to make sure. Yeah.
Right before everything sort of started and before New York City went into lockdown, and most states did go into lockdown, right before that we were at the conference at CSUN, which was an amazing event, a great event each year that we always go to. It was sort of like, I think, the last thing we did before COVID-19 really hit the US.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we were out there, I know that OrCam had a beautiful presence. Unfortunately, attendance was already at a near the low as possible. But I remember spending some time with others, but now it's all coming back to me. It feels like forever ago. But when we were out there and we were talking, at the time, it was like we sort of like felt that COVID was going to be, we felt that the lockdown was imminent. And we said, and I remember specifically having this conversation with OrCam specifically, we said, what are we going to do to make sure that we continue to bring information? We, introduce new technology, to the sight loss community. And we literally, it was created together with OrCam right then and there. I remember that on that Thursday, I think it was March 12th, I think it was. So, I'm sure everyone remembers where they were before those crazy lines.
Right, exactly. It was right March 12th, March 13th. Yep. And we've all been working hard to try to bring people information of what technology is out there, and especially what's been going on at OrCam, because really things have not stopped at OrCam.
No, nothing stopped at OrCam, nothing stopped at the Low Vision Shop. And, we are all on the same mission here. And that mission is to provide assistive technology, devices, and tools that will enable individuals with sight loss to lead, more productive life and greater independence.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, even though, we're all changing of things, a way we are doing things, just like bringing you this content here, just by Zoom meetings and online and phone calls. It just, everybody's doing things in a different way. And I think that's what even comes into low vision and what I do as an optometrist.
Absolutely. And we're all doing things differently. And this is a great way to continue with that tradition. So your official title is Clinical and Professional Relations. So explain to the audience, what does that mean? Clinical and Professional Relations at OrCam.
Sure. So again, I'm Bryan Wolynski. I'm an optometrist. I work also in low vision.
Low vision optometrist.
Out of New York City. And I work with OrCam Technologies. I consult for them in a role of clinical and professional relations. And what that really is dealing with clinics who are interested in OrCam and speaking about it and trying to them to understand the technology, and also working with professionals, either training professionals on how to train others and their patients on how to use OrCam, or other professionals in low vision organizations, low vision stores such as yours, and just bringing information to everyone about the device and devices that OrCam makes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information to share. And, you know, a lot of the times when, you know, people are, whether they're visiting our, you know, physical showroom here in Timonium, and by the way, I just want to, you know, for the record, the showroom is open by appointment only, and you can schedule your appointment, you know, online at thelowvisionshop.com. You can schedule it. You can come in for a complimentary OrCam demonstration. So I encourage, if anyone is in the area, to please go ahead and do that. Of course, you can also schedule a virtual consultation. We do many virtual consultations on a weekly basis. We have a very flexible calendar. So if there's something that you want to see that you're seeing today, and you want to, you know, just get more information to see how maybe it could fit your lifestyle, it could fit a loved one's lifestyle, set up a consultation, a virtual consultation. It doesn't cost anything, and we're happy to provide that. So it's, you know, there's a lot to share with all these devices. And, you know, we're going to get into, you know, the actual demonstrations, and we're going to, you know, at the end, we're going to give some time for individuals out there. If you have any, you know, questions, if you want to, you know, see how it could pertain to you specifically, for a family member, whatever it is, we want you to utilize this time where we can, you know, talk to you. We will bring you into the mix here. And again, if you want to keep your video on, that's great. We'd love to see you. If not, just audio, it's also good. Now, there are a couple of ways you can get our attention. So you can click on the raise your hand button. If you raise your hand, hey, we are both raising our hands right now. If you click on the raise your hand button, you will be able to, your hand will come up, and we will do our best to bring you in at the next appropriate time. You could also send us through the Q&A. You can send us a question there. And I believe you can also utilize the chat. So there's 3 avenues for you to communicate with us. And again, if you're going to raise your hand, I'm going to assume you want to come join us here. So I wish we could have you here, everyone here, but we got to limit that. And, you know, we'll moving along. So Dr. Bryan, you know, you're a superstar, because not only have I seen you on TV, but you've traveled the world for OrCam. You've attended, you know, many clinical sessions, trials, right, on behalf of OrCam. I remember it was the last year or the year before, down South America for an exposition, yes, right, conference. So Dr. Bryan's traveled the world, and you know, has come in contact with a lot of fascinating individuals. But he's a superstar. I'm sure many of you out there have actually seen Dr. Bryan on TV.
Well, what OrCam is doing is, again, trying to get the information out there about the technology, about accessibility,
right,
about people learning about it. And really, that's worldwide. It's an international company. The device is now in over 50 countries, the device has over 30 different languages that's available in.
50 countries.
In the 50 states too, but yes, we're going to conferences and just being out there. But not only that, but the television shows have been interesting. I remember my first one I did was actually a Dr. Phil show. And we had on there a very interesting gentleman who's a veteran. And we actually did it on Veterans Day. And amazing individual. And we were talking about how veterans who are visually impaired or blind can get OrCam through the VA if they qualify. But it was an amazing story of Scotty, and being on Dr. Phil's show. I really was my first time kind of in a TV audience, and I felt like a deer in the headlights, you know.
It's an interesting experience. I've never been on an actual TV show. I've been in front of the camera. We're in front of the camera now, but not. We've been more in a. I've done, you know, it's like news interviews and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And when you enter the studio, it can be very overwhelming.
It is, and meeting the producers, but they were all great, and we've been on the show now 4 times. And so recently, just yesterday was aired. Just yesterday was aired. I mean, I had the privilege of being on there with Bailey Martin, who is an 18-year-old girl, high school senior out of Iowa, who's using the OrCam device, but she has an interesting story. When I guess her story, and really she should tell it, is when she was 12, she was diagnosed with an eye disorder, but she became visually impaired, but her whole thing in life was sports. So she didn't want to give up, what she wanted to do. And now one of her goals is becoming going into the Paralympics for 2024.
Oh, wow.
And so OrCam has a international sponsor, international speaker for OrCam, Leo Messi. If anyone,
like a soccer player,
the soccer player.
For those of you out there, Barry is holding an OrCam soccer ball right now.
So Leo Messi is one of the most internationally known soccer players, one of the best. And right before COVID-19 hit, OrCam assembled what we call the Dream Team. And these were people from all over the world, from Brazil, from France, from Israel, from the US. They all went to Barcelona and met with Messi, and where he presented them with an OrCam device. And these are all visually impaired or blind athletes, and they're remarkable people. And so the story was about Bailey and the remarkable things that she's doing, and she got to speak with Dr. Phil. And like I said, it's just a privilege for me to meet all these individuals doing such amazing things.
Yeah, I personally have come across and met so many incredible individuals out there throughout my journey, and being involved in the sight loss community, and you guys it's just incredible people out there. So, guys, keep it up and never give up. That's my message. And I think you look at Leo Messi, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not I'm not into soccer, but I think Leo Messi's got like 165 million Instagram or Twitter followers. One of the social media, like crazy numbers. And I never heard of him until OrCam brought him on the scene. But I asked one of my boys, "Have you ever heard of this guy named Leo Messi?" Like, yeah, Dad. What's wrong with you? Come on, everyone's heard of him. So he's doing great, and it's nice to see OrCam investing in a figure like Leo Messi to be able to elevate the message when it comes to sight loss. As you know, and we've had the opportunity to discuss, previously on even on multiple occasions, how there's a lack of awareness when it comes to sight loss. And so by bringing someone in like Leo Messi, who I'm looking at right there in our poster across the room here, bring someone like Leo Messi to elevate the message, I think it's really important. And I'm pretty certain by just, that initial push, I'm sure it's created a monumental, platform to increase awareness. So kudos to OrCam and the entire team. And, I've personally been to OrCam headquarters on multiple occasions, and the research and development that's going on is unbelievable. It's a true testament to the investment, the resources, and the time to create a better world for individuals who are living with sight loss today. So
now there's a lot of that goes into R&D and research, but not only that, but of course, as you mentioned, teaming up with Leo Messi and him becoming a brand ambassador and just getting the word out there. It's an amazing facility. The company is located in Jerusalem. It is an amazing place, as you saw.
Yeah.
There's so many engineers there, all working on different projects and trying to really elevate and bring about what we call is personal artificial intelligence, in wearable form or in handheld.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. If anyone's ever going out there to the Middle East and they want to stop by, I'm sure they don't officially give tours, but I'm sure we can arrange it. It's really impressive.
I think it might know somebody.
I think I might know somebody there. Yes, and it's just it's so I've had the opportunity to visit many different types of technology companies around the globe, and to see the dedication to the sight loss community, the way OrCam is doing it, there's nothing else there, that's out there right now. So again, just really incredible. and just continue to develop and do some incredible stuff for the sight loss community. So it's good stuff. So let's talk about some devices, because after all, that's what we are here to talk to you today about. And so OrCam, how many years ago was it? About 3-4 years ago? How many, when the first device came out?
The first device, actually, I saw the first device in 2013.
2013. So 7 years ago.
7 years ago. It didn't come onto the market until 2015.
Okay.
So that's when I first heard about the device, actually. Actually, it was a patient of mine. I started doing low vision exams in New York City in my practice, and I had a patient come in and he said, "Hey, did you ever hear about this device, OrCam?"
And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. I said, "Well, or what?" And he said, "Well, they're in Israel, and it was an article in the New York Times that talked all about it. And my son, who helps me at home, and that was what he was struggling with, was being independent. He was worried about it. Just recently gave up driving. He needed his son to read him the mail. He couldn't do things on his own anymore, and he didn't want to rely on anybody else. So his son looked at this technology and put a deposit down, and he said, "I just want to know, when am I getting my device?"
Right.
And they weren't selling them at the time.
Right.
It was,
and this is before your involvement.
Right. And so I called the company and I got on the phone and I reached a woman who works there at the company, and she says, "Oh, you're an optometrist. We want to talk with you." Next thing I know, it's 7 years later, I'm still consulting and working with the company.
Amazing. It's amazing when you look back, you go look back 7 years, how technology has transformed. You can look back in the past, 18 months itself, and it's, grown leaps and bounds. But you can look back 7 years ago from where the technology was and where it is today. It's incredible. And, let's talk about the flagship of the OrCam devices, OrCam MyEye Pro.
Sure. So OrCam, creates basically, well, like I said earlier, personal AI assistive technology.
AI assistive technology. I love that.
Right. And they make one that's a wearable, which is the flagship device, which I'll talk about, which is the MyEye Pro. And I'm going to bring out a device here to show everyone, and I'll explain it. So the device I'm holding in my hand right now is about the size of your finger.
Yeah.
It's encased in a black color.
I have a Sharpie here. So
right.
It's like maybe like half the size of a Sharpie.
Right. And it weighs less than an ounce.
Which is very light.
And on the front surface is a 13 megapixel camera. And on the back is a speaker. And basically what this does is it connects or attaches to glasses, any pair of eyeglasses, magnetically. So all you need to do is basically take this magnetic mount that's supplied by the company. You could put it on the right or left side of the temple of the glasses. I'm holding a pair of glasses here that have both on the right and left side. And
Dr. Bryan's ambidextrous, so
yep.
You never know which side he wants to put it on.
Well, I'm a lefty, so I never know.
Lefty.
Yeah, so I never know which. So I'm putting on my glasses right now, and I can put this just magnetically right onto the side of the glasses.
Perfect. So you can't even tell that it's there.
It looks like somebody's Bluetooth device. Or
what? It's funny you say that, because people out there, and maybe you guys out there, use a Bluetooth headset, right? It looks like Dr. Bryan's just charging up his Bluetooth headset up there.
Exactly, and then it just sits there comfortably, and it does a multiple function. So it's a multifunctional device. So specifically what OrCam does, I'll say first, is because I told you there was a camera, it takes a picture and then speaks back auditorily the information. So it's not doing anything with your vision. So it's speaking the information to you. So it could be useful for someone who's low vision, visually impaired, legally blind, or if someone is blind. So this is not a device. I always say it's an inclusive device, not exclusive, because it can work for anyone, no matter what kind of eye disease or eye disorder you have. So it's not dependent on that. Whether you have macular degeneration or end-stage glaucoma or diabetic retinopathy, the device can work.
Right. It is fully inclusive. It is a very fine point that you bring up. So we're about to go into the device, and I think we're going to power it up right now. And
I have one ready to go. It's powered up.
Okay, great.
This one I have off.
Okay.
Just to show.
So when you do power it up, by the
Mhm.
way, and you can feel the button, and there's no way, by the way, for you to put it on the wrong way when you mount it because of the magnets. It really, again, it's just so simple. And by the way, it comes with a lanyard also. And I always like to tell individuals that, you know, it's good to put on the lanyard because God forbid someone should ever bump into you. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But it's strong though.
Yeah, it's sitting magnetically on my glasses, and the company does provide a lanyard. That way you can put that around your neck. And what I say too is when you're not using it, you just hang it down.
Yeah.
And that way it's easily accessible to just put back on your glasses.
Yep. It's very
So I
straightforward.
wanted to just get into the functions.
Sure,
if
absolutely.
That's okay.
Hey, we want to hear about it.
Sure. So the functions, all the things that it does is it's OrCam MyEye Pro is able to read printed text, and that's printed text off of any surface. So whether it's a book, your mail, or a computer screen, or even off your phone, it can read text. Also, OrCam recognizes faces, so it does facial recognition, and we can go over that. Maybe in the days of masks, we're all not recognizing each other.
I didn't have a chance to do it, but I'm curious if it would detect if you take if you would scan, try to save a face with a mask.
It is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge these days, and that's something technology can't solve everything. Well,
No.
Hopefully, maybe someday.
I know. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to be mask free sometime in the near future.
Me too. And back to travel.
And back to travel as well.
So OrCam recognizes also barcodes, also recognizes products. It also does color recognition as well as money note recognition.
That's right. I love when people come in here and I open up my wallet and I pull out maybe a single dollar bill, or maybe if I have $100 bill or 50 on that day.
You're wealthier than me.
I don't carry that much cash, but once in a while, we pull out a bill and it's at the right time, and it just literally like that. It will tell you exactly what's coming out of your wallet.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the device, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
By the way, one of my favorite features is telling the time.
Okay, I'll show that too.
Yep.
So what OrCam, as I always like to say, comes in threes. There's 3 ways to activate OrCam, which I'll go over, and there's also 3 gestures. So let's just turn it on first.
Charger disconnected.
So I just disconnected from the charger. We're going to put it on. Let's see which side. We'll put it on the right side this time.
Okay, so Dr. Bryan is wearing his OrCam on the right-hand side.
I'm also going to turn on an external speaker so just everybody can hear also. Maybe that'll be a little easier because it is sitting next to me here.
Excellent. And this speaker that we have here, this is not just used for the specific demonstration. This can be used in your home or wherever you go to help. The OrCam device is loud in itself, but if you want to really amplify what you're reading, a Bluetooth speaker is a great way to go.
Correct. So the way you hear the information that OrCam speaks audibly to you is either through the speaker internally in the device itself. You can hook up to a Bluetooth speaker externally, as we have here, or you could even use like earbuds or anything Bluetooth that'll connect to for more privacy. So as I mentioned, OrCam can be activated in one of 3 ways. The first way to activate OrCam for reading, which I want to demonstrate in a moment, is by a pointing gesture.
And by the way, when we say pointing, we don't mean like the rude way of pointing your finger at someone. We mean by pointing as lifting your finger up.
So I always like to say it's like lifting your finger up like the number 1. You're number 1. So we're number 1. So we point forward with our finger. Actually, we just heard a beep because it recognized my finger. And that's a gesture to get it reading. And I'll go over that in a moment. The second gesture, the second way to get it activated is just by touching on the touch bar on the side. So I'm not touching it right now, but I'll do that in a moment because it's sensitive. And if I touch it here, it's going to then take a picture. And then the third way, which I have off right now, is automatic. So it will follow where you want to read. So if I just held some text in front of me, I'm holding a book right in front of me right now, it will recognize, if I turn on that mode, it'll recognize it automatically.
Yeah, and by the way, changing modes is really simple, and especially if you're using an iOS device and you have the OrCam app, it is simple as flicking your hand.
Yeah, so there's different ways that you can change the different features, functions, turning things on, turning things off, reading speed, voice. So all different, you can personalize it to yourself.
Exactly, and that's why one of the things that I love, and many people that I come in contact with, everyone's got their own specific lifestyle needs, and OrCam can be adjusted to your specific needs. You're not locked into one specific setting.
Exactly. And there's different functions that you might use more versus others. So, and that's everyone's different.
Absolutely.
So what I want to do is just do the pointing feature, pointing gesture with reading this book. So I have a book in front of me here called Stand By Me, RP. And this is
we know that author very well. Dave Steele, the blind poet.
Yes.
From Manchester, United Kingdom.
Yes. I didn't have the pleasure in meeting him yet, but I hope to one day. But
we look forward to bringing Dave back to the U.S. As soon as possible. So he's literally been on standby after we canceled his ticket in March. He was supposed to be out here in March, and we had to cancel, and he's literally been on standby. But hopefully soon.
So I'm just going to make sure that it's on.
Volume up.
So if I wanted the volume up, all I do is I swipe.
Volume maximum.
Now we're at maximum volume. Let's see. I'm going to try to see myself in here and talk into the here. See, let me do it this way. Let me see. So I'm going to point forward with my finger. You heard a beep. Takes a picture.
Why I'm still panicking when I knew how this would end. It's not as if
and it's reading the text.
Medicine can mend the hazy, cloudy pigment that grows behind my eye.
If I wanted to stop, I use a second gesture called a stop gesture, and I just put my hand outwards, just like telling someone to stop, and it stopped reading. I can also fast forward, rewind, or pause.
It's incredible. It's nice to hear Dave's words amplified.
Yes, I like it. Also, with the pointing gesture, I can also do something called touch reading, where I can move my finger around the page and it actually will follow, and it'll follow where I want it to read from.
So when you point your finger on something specific, right, it starts reading like one or two lines above your finger?
Yes, about 2 lines above my finger. And when I want that specific area, spot, I found where I want to read from, I just remove my finger, hold still for about a second, and then I can let go and it will continue reading.
Amazing. Amazing.
It is.
It is amazing.
And it's very quick. It responds very quickly.
As we just saw, it's like pretty much instantaneously.
Right. And as I mentioned before, if I wanted to just, if I don't want to point and I just want to read the whole page, I would just touch on the touch bar on the side, like so.
2 people are in front of
Leo Messi and Bailey.
Be the best you can be for people who are blind or visually impaired. Skipped
I'll explain in a moment.
Readable text, OrCam, Face, Iris Vision, Inside My Shoes, Yesterday, eSight /
So as we see, OrCam likes to read. So it actually was reading stuff in the distance because I touched on the side. When I point, it knows exactly where it wants me to read. When I touch on the side, it's going to read anything within its field of view. So what it did is it read me some distance signs that we have here at the low vision shop. And the 2 people that it said, it's actually a picture of Bailey and Leo Messi that we have in the office here. So that was great.
That is great.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, in the third way is just automatic. So those are the 3 different ways that you can read with OrCam. Now there's a new feature for reading, brand new that just came out a few months ago, called Smart Reading. So I thought the touch reading was smart reading, but then they surprised me even more with new updates of smart reading. And what smart reading is as the engineers explained it to me, I'm an optometrist. I don't know all the ins and outs of all the engineering, but
you didn't go to engineering school?
No, it's called based on natural language understanding. So basically, I want to get the text, or someone using the device, I want the text that I want to read. I maybe don't want the whole page.
Right.
Let's say I'm out at a restaurant and I want to find the desserts.
Right.
So actually Bailey did that on the Dr. Phil show. She
Okay.
had a menu and she just wanted the desserts, and she put OrCam in the smart reading mode, which is easy to do. And I'll show everybody how we do it.
Can't wait.
And she was able to just get the desserts off the menu and not have to read the whole entire page.
So that's, again, that is from a time saving, point of view, save you time, but it gets you straight to the point of what you need to do.
Right. Now, one of the most challenging things I found, even in the early days, was reading a newspaper. Now, reading a newspaper is difficult because there's articles, there's different articles, columns, and headlines, and I want to get what I want. So if I read a headline, I want to read that article. I don't want to read the other article because that doesn't interest me.
Right.
So this smart reading really helps you find and get what you want out of it. So I can go into the smart reading mode. I could say, read the headlines. It'll read me the headlines. I could say, read me the second article. It'll read that second article. And I can even find dates. I can find prices. I can find amounts. I can find anything I want within the text.
Right. Anything that you think might be on that document or paper, it is going to retrieve it for you and locate it.
Right. So what I'm going to do is show everybody how I get to the smart reading mode.
Mm-hmm.
The smart reading mode, instead of tapping once like I did earlier to take a picture, I have to tap twice. Okay. And then it will listen to my commands. So then it's like in a listening mode. So I'm going to do that right now.
Everyone be silent. We're going to do it.
Nah, you'll hear some beeps and some other things happen. So I'm holding a newspaper. I just want to show everybody.
It is, let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 column newspaper with headlines and yeah.
So we're going to double tap. Oh, I just got to. Usually I fold it over first. There we go. I just want to make sure I get the page. Whoops. Let's stop it. Okay.
January 2020, Washington.
Okay. Smart reading.
Note that some of the text was unreadable. Ready.
Read the headlines.
Found 2 headlines. First result, common additive may raise health risks. Second result, using new and old drugs to help hearts.
Read the second article.
Using new and old drugs to help hearts by Marilyn Marchioni, Novel Drugs.
Read everything.
More at thebeaconnewspapers.com, January 2020, Washington Beacon. Oxygen tank troubles.
So
Not
it's right
all
at the top of
doctors know the
it's bringing
difference
it right at the
between
top.
2 types of oxygen tanks. Easily lower.
So it's seeing your hand. So that's why it stopped.
Oh, it's not. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But
Listening.
it's still listening.
It's still listening. So let's read the first article.
Common additive may raise health risks. Some researchers have been speculating for years that certain commonly used food additives may be contributing to the uptick in obesity and diabetes. Now, research.
So I put my hand out as a stop gesture and then it stopped, but it's still listening.
It's still listening.
So I need to say exit.
Exiting.
I was going to ask you a question to find something, but okay.
We could do that again.
Okay.
So all I got to do is I need to go back into that smart reading mode, which is very simple.
Again, 2 clicks.
Yep.
Or 2 taps.
A double tap. Smart reading.
Note that there may be more text below. Ready.
That's okay.
So if we ask it to find a certain word, it's going to find that specific word, right?
Right. Find research.
Found 4 results of research. First result. Now, research from Harvard University shows that a commonly used food preservative. Second result. The research was featured at an American Heart Association conference in Philadelphia in November. Third result. and research is also targeting heart disease. Fourth result, diabetes. Gout cures help heart. Other research found new benefits from older drugs.
Now I see here the word pizza. Let's see if we can find the word pizza for us.
Find pizza.
I didn't understand. Let's try again.
Uh-oh.
Find pizza.
Found one result of pizza.
Beautiful.
Tortillas, pizza dough.
Perfect.
Pastries.
Start from pizza.
Tortillas, pizza dough, pastries, breakfast cereals.
And that's smart
pasta and
reading.
Noodles.
That's incredible. So
Exit.
what we just did was we just had the OrCam smart reading scan the entire document. I happen to know that the word
Did
pizza.
you mean reading speed down?
Exit.
I happen to know that the word pizza, the word pizza dough,
Exiting.
was in this article,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
and I wanted to put this to this test. Let's see if can it really find a single word that we're looking for
Out of a whole page of text.
out of a whole page. And we don't have a menu here, so I said, you know what? It's close to lunchtime here, or maybe some people, had lunch already, and I said, pizza sounds good. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know how many words, thousands of words on this page.
Yes.
And not only did it find it, but what you did was you said start reading from pizza, and then it continues to read from there.
Exactly.
Incredible. It really is incredible.
Exactly.
Let's see if I have any cash in my pocket today.
Sure. Do you have that $100 bill you owe me?
Let me take a look. By the way, just while I pull my wallet out, what time is it?
Let's see.
The time is 1:37 p.m.
So
Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020.
So for those of you watching, Dr. Bryan did not look at his watch. I don't think he's even wearing a watch.
Don't have one.
Dr. Bryan literally lifted up his arm and pulled out his wrist as if he was looking at a watch on his arm, and it automatically told him the time. And because he left his hand there for a few more seconds, it actually said the date as well. It's one of my favorite features.
Right. So that's part of the third gesture. So the first gesture was the pointing gesture. The second was the stop gesture to stop from reading. And the third is the time gesture.
Yep. So I can't find that $100 bill. So
that's all right.
So you're gonna have to wait, take an IOU on that, right?
So all I need to do is show the OrCam device the dollar bill, and it should tell me that it's $1, no matter what orientation I'm holding it. Let's see. Let me make sure it didn't go to sleep because we were
Volume
talking.
maximum.
We were talking a little bit. So if I show it just the dollar bill, and it doesn't matter, it shouldn't,
$1.
and it shouldn't matter the orientation. It tells me automatically what the amount is, the money amount. It can also do Canadian, euros.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not know
you
that.
just have to change the
So
settings.
it can multiple currency settings based on your specific is
And
it
it's
based on?
based on your geography and regions too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, also for language reading, the Pro device for the US can auto recognize Spanish and French.
Okay.
But it's not going to translate it for you.
Oh man.
So what I wanted to do next is not only can it read like labels and things like that. I mean, it won't do, again, it does printed text. It won't do logos. Okay. So like Coca-Cola or that wedding invitation that comes in the mail, it's in that fancy calligraphy. It's not
Right.
going to do that. It needs to
Right.
be printed text.
Right. Or handwriting. I've had many people ask me, can it read my handwriting? I said, if you have perfect handwriting that looks like the Arial font, then
Mhm.
maybe. But
Right. So what I want to do is just show the barcode here. Now,
so Dr. Bryan is holding a bottle of water in his hand.
right. Now, what's important here to understand too, all of this is internal, working in this a closed system, meaning
You mean you're not connected to the internet right now?
no.
No way.
So this is not connected to Wi-Fi. It's not connected to the internet or the cloud or anything. There's over 1 million barcodes that are in here.
Wow. Imagine
And it's
over 1 million barcodes stored in this device that's half the size of half of my Sharpie.
Right. Now, it may know this barcode. It may not know this barcode, but let's
gonna
check it
find
out.
out.
Let's find out. So remember, I'm not on the internet or anything. It's not feeding me any information. So if I just hold it up, and it should just recognize the barcode.
Spring water.
Ooh.
So it knew it as spring water. But let's say I go, like last year, I went to Brazil. I was a speaker at a conference there. It was a great time. In Chile, when I was there too, it was wonderful. I met this RP group. They're amazing people. We actually did an event called Blind Driving, which is something interesting to talk about.
I think we should do that here in Baltimore.
Sure. So it was fun. It was a very interesting time. But let's say I was there shopping for something and I saw a barcode that, because I have my OrCam from US and not down in Chile, and I was shopping and I have an unrecognized barcode.
Okay.
So what happens? Or I go to a specialty store,
Right.
Or it might not be something very recognizable that's in there. I can teach the barcode to the device, just a 15-second process. And then after that, it will know that barcode for that product.
So basically that gives you the opportunity to save a device, or actually it gives you the opportunity to save a specific product that maybe you use on a frequent basis, but maybe you can't necessarily always locate it in the kitchen per se. That gives you an opportunity to save it and then be able to scan it and be able to locate it right away.
Correct. So the other feature is, or the other function is facial recognition, which we did. I'm going to point it at myself because it does know me, but it probably doesn't know me with the mask. So I'm just going to pull it down quick and not talk because that's the, I know exactly. Let's do this. Let's see if it's
Volume maximum.
maybe it's the lights.
There it is.
Dr. Bryan.
The Lawn V Ice
And it's reading.
Low Vision Specialists of Maryland and Virginia. The
It picked up.
Low Vision Shop.
That's
Low
awesome. It
Visions
picked
of
up behind us our
Maryland.
backdrop.
Exactly. So it always wants to read text.
It loves to read text. That's really what this is all about. This is about being able to open up your mail, or even before you open up the mail, being able to know what's coming, what's there, to be able to now with the smart reading, to be able to go down, drill down and say, what's that electric bill, gas bill, telephone, whatever it is, it's gonna be able to find now that total, and you'll have all the information there. Again, restaurant, I mean, the possibilities are endless on how you can use the smart reading.
Right. And not only that, it's just portable. You can take it anywhere. So as we were talking about not being connected to the internet too, because you're always going to count on it. It's going to work wherever you go. So a good friend of mine once said to me, I invited him and his guide dog on a camping trip. And I said, come on the camping trip. I go every year. He goes, I'm not going camping. I said, why? I said, no Wi-Fi. Because he depends so much on using,
Sure. We've all become so dependent on everything. Yeah.
But even him with using the iPhone and the accessibility features and using, the text-to-speech software on there. And he was like, I'm not going, but that's what's great about the device here is that it doesn't require it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Again, again, smartphones are incredible and they do amazing stuff to help us out. But like Dr. Bryan was just saying, if you're going to be in a dead zone, in an area where there's no cell service, and unfortunately there are plenty of areas throughout the United States and around the world where there is no service, OrCam will always be there for you and be able to read for you.
Mm-hmm. Now, it does take training,
it does
to learn how to use the device and the gestures and kind of understand your orientation with the device. But I always feel you get, a good, 1 hour, maybe even 2 sometimes of a good, just first introduction to the device. Mm-hmm. And then using it on an everyday basis, probably about a week or 2 till you master it.
Yeah, it's very true. I know we use the device on a daily basis, and of course, as we got used to it. But I'll tell you, the first few times when we started using it, I'm sure going back to how many years it's been since you got your hand on your first one. It takes a little time, but once you get over that curve, it's smooth sailing.
Right, and that's what you're here for too, and the Low Vision Shop, and there's people to help you through that.
Absolutely,
and there's customer service, and there's a phone number to call as well if you get stuck. Yep. And you can never remember everything. No,
even
and that's fine.
That's why we write things down. So
right,
we're going to talk about pricing afterwards. I want to move on because I can't believe what time it is already. So I want to move on and talk about the latest device from OrCam, which is the OrCam Read. And then we're going to talk about special offers as well shortly after. So let's go ahead and talk about the OrCam Read.
Sure.
OrCam's latest and greatest.
This device, I think, is amazing. And not only is it's, I think it's sort of like an introductory device for people to get maybe to know about the OrCam technology and what it's about. So what happened is, the OrCam MyEye is a multifunctional device, but there are those individuals who only want the reading function.
Right.
Possibly. Also, there's a whole nother subset of people out there with learning disabilities, dyslexia, and auditory readers for whatever reason, whether it's low vision, visually impaired, blind, whatever it is, the reason that that an auditory reader came out with an auditory reading device.
Yeah, there are a lot of invisible disabilities.
So this is the OrCam Read. I'm holding it up, and
Let's bring
it's
out my
about
Sharpie here today.
this is about the size of a Sharpie.
It's smaller than the Sharpie.
So, but it's like, I would say the thickness of it though is like one of those thick Sharpies. And and on the front again is a 13 megapixel camera. There's also, to mention, I didn't mention it with the MyEye because we got such bright light in this room here because we're doing a show and we have the bright light. But if the lighting is low, like let's say in a restaurant, there is a little LED light that will come on automatically in case of those environments.
So if you're in that dark environment, it will come on. It comes on automatically, you're saying?
Correct. You can set it to automatic.
Okay.
Which I usually recommend having it set to automatic. So there's a series of buttons on here, and there's a volume button, there's up and down, there's a trigger button, which triggers the camera to take a picture, and there is a power button. And those are all on the top side of the device. I am holding it up.
Yeah. So we have the buttons, the trigger, the plus, the minus, and we have the power button, and then we have is it USB-C?
Correct, for charging.
For charging. Now, I also want to ask you, is this Bluetooth compatible?
So this device is a little bit different in that, yes, it's Bluetooth compatible, but it also, unlike the MyEye, can be hardwired into a headphone. And the reason that is because some schools for children, if they were to use this device, require it to be a hardwire.
I did not realize that.
Versus being Bluetooth.
That's great. So you can go right in with your earphones, hardwire. Yes, there are still hardwire headsets out there. I am a user of a hardwired headset.
I do that sometimes for Zoom meetings.
Yes.
And we're hardwired
We're hardwired in.
Yep. So this is a great handheld reading device. And similar to reading, like the OrCam MyEye Pro, this actually reads as well, but you're taking a picture by holding it like a pen instead of the hand gestures like we were using before. And all I do is I push a button and you hold it just like a pen.
Now, you also have lasers on there, 2 different types of lasers that were going to help guide you.
So exactly. So if this device is great for someone who's visually impaired or has low vision. I have heard of some users, some people who are blind using this device, and they just have to orient themselves properly. But there are 2 laser guidance systems in here. So I'm going to show the first one. Let me make sure this device is on first.
One question. So I know on the MyEye Pro, the device can detect as far as, positioning of the text. Someone might say, "Oh, how do I know? How do I know if I have sight loss? How am I going to know if I'm holding it the right way?" Mm-hmm. The MyEye Pro can detect as far as if the text is upside down. Will the Read do that?
The Read, you know what?
We're going to find out right now.
We're going to find out. Let me first do it the right way first, okay? Let's use the book.
Back to some incredible poetry.
Exactly. So let's see. So I am just going to hold the device up. I'm going to point it with the laser light, and I'll show you everyone. It's a cursor that I have here.
Volume up.
Oh, wrong button.
Back when I had vision, I could see the stars at night. I didn't feel anxiety from changes.
So it's reading the text. All I did was click a button, and I'm going to push the button to stop. Now, how I started reading, I'm going to actually, we talked about notes before. We do have note cards.
We do.
So I'm going to hold this note card up, and what I'm doing is I'm shining the little laser light on the card. So
I'll hold the card for you.
So, and we'll explain what's happening is that a little laser light cursor is coming out, and I don't know if we can see it, but it's like a little cursor that you would see on a computer screen.
It's probably gonna be a little hard because our bright light is in front of us.
So let me try the other one. So there's two different types of laser guidances. One is the cursor. Another one is a bounding box, which will bound the area I want it to read. So if I hold it back, I can get the whole page. If I come in closer, I can get a paragraph.
Right.
And this is really one of the only devices out there, handheld reading devices, that can get a whole page.
That's remarkable. And I meant to ask you before when I asked about Bluetooth. See, we had the MyEye Pro was paired up, and you also have the Read paired up with it as well. There was no transition or anything like that. You went straight to the Read. So if you have both devices, they can be paired up one time, and you can get that same Bluetooth speaker, giving that amplified sound.
Right. And if I want to do volume
up,
you hear volume up.
maximum.
Okay. And then it's just a real simple, easy to use device. It's ready to go. You don't need any other programming to put in here.
No.
It also is available if someone wanted
Multiple languages
with smart reading.
Oh, smart reading also. That's right.
Yes. So it can do that as well.
And other language also options as well.
Right. Well, don't quote me on that one.
I believe it.
I'll double check on that.
I believe it has the language pack. I think it can. Either way, okay. If not, it's definitely got English.
Yes. Exactly.
So yeah, it's such a nifty little gadget. Literally, you put your jacket, your pocket.
What I like about it as an optometrist, when I show it to patients, it's just they pick it right up and it's boom, you're using it. It's reading. It's reading to you. And what I like also, even if let's say you read with a magnifier, let's say, okay, listen, everyone uses multiple devices, so you need your toolbox for everything. What are you reading? The Sharpie?
It's not. It's the text, but yeah.
You could try the bottle here, just once.
Distributed by Food Hold USA, LLC, Lansing, date 1-877-846.
So it's reading everything off of the spring water
949.
bottle.
Copyright.
But what I like about it is, sometimes using a magnifier or magnification, now it's great that you can use one, but it's sometimes a little slower. Sometimes if it's a higher magnification, you're really using it only for spot reading. And for certain activities or certain things, it's good for. And then this is really what I feel it's good for spot reading, but also for long-term reading, for a book or for shopping. You could just hold this in your hand, hold it up to, the package of food, and you can read it.
Yeah,
just like you were reading from the water bottle.
It's great, and it's such a fantastic tool. I mean, all the OrCam devices, they are tools. And I always say you need to have tools in your toolbox to help you out when it comes to living with sight loss conditions. And these are really two of the most sophisticated devices out there today. And we are so proud to be working and collaborating with OrCam to bring these devices to you. It's just, the technology is so impressive. And sometimes we get caught up, we're involved with this day in, day out. And if you take it back and you think about it, what these two devices can do and what the tasks that it can handle is it's truly remarkable. I love watching and seeing people's, the reactions as far as, when they see it for the first time. So,
actually quickly, if you don't mind, I know we're running out of time. What time is it?
We have a couple of minutes, and I want to,
all right.
If people do want to, raise their hand, and if anyone has any questions, I would request that you, raise your hand now, because we are going to have time to take a few questions. So if you have any questions, if it's lifestyle questions, compatibility questions, location question, whatever it is, now's a good time. Again, if you want to raise your hand, we'll bring you into the conversation. Or if you're feeling a little shy, send it through the Q&A, send it through the chat. We want to do our best to answer questions before our time is up. But go ahead.
So one other thing I wanted to mention too is, it's really important to have a good demonstration.
Very important.
And, see your low vision professional to have a good demonstration of this and what the capabilities are, so you can understand better for yourself on the uses of how you would be using it. And I think that's really a good start for it.
I want to say, you talk about usage cases. I think it's really important that everyone who is in the market and looking for a piece of assistive technology to know what their goals are. First, determine what your goals are, what you're having difficulty with, what the tasks that you want to be able to accomplish, and then proceed forward. And we, as I mentioned earlier, we have the ability to do virtual consultations. So if you are outside of the region, and we have many users throughout the United States, even around the world. So we have the virtual consultations if you can't come in, A, because of distance, or B, if you're concerned about COVID. We understand that. And again, we encourage you to set up a complimentary virtual consultation. We will go through that device with you. So someone here, a question, before we go to the questions, I want to talk about the holiday offers, because I've never seen anything like this before. So there are 3 offers out there today, specifically for the holidays, and this new offer that just came out yesterday in conjunction with Dr. Phil. And I think we're going to get that video up on the website later today. So we have the best, the flagship, the MyEye Pro, which has every feature. That device, come January 1st, is going to be $5,250. So that is the flagship device. But today, through December 25th, you can save an incredible amount of money, because the device is $3,500. I mean, it's just really incredible. It's been selling at $4,250 as an introductory price, but now for the holidays, you can save $750, and the device is $3,500. That includes free shipping. So if anyone is interested in the Pro, and to make it even sweeter, we are going to throw in an additional Charge Me. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at my screen. It's here. You guys can see it. Dr. Bryan, can you explain what the Charge Me is?
Sure. So what the Charge Me is, it's basically an accessory device where you can charge the device up to 4 times. So if you're on the go and you need to charge it, the device fits directly into this little holster sort of, and it has like a little belt clip, and it's telling us the charger was connected.
Good.
And what it does, it fits.
Device superstar hotshot.
See,
connected.
superstar.
Look at that. We have a superstar right here.
Hotshot connected.
So what the device did is I put it on the charger. It's telling me that it's connected and it's working and it's charging. But what it did is it magnetically attached inside the Charge Me device. And this thing is just lightweight, easy to carry around. So that way you don't have to carry around cords and another battery. It's just slim fitting. It could fit right in your pocket.
Beautiful.
Or just wear it on your belt.
Beautiful. So if you purchase the MyEye Pro, you are going to receive a complimentary Charge Me, $250 value. So between $750 savings and $250 accessory complimentary, it's over $1,000 in savings. So, which is truly incredible. Very rare opportunity. We also have the MyEye Smart, which normally starts at $3,500, and that doesn't include all of the features in the MyEye. It includes we'll call it the basic as far as the reading, and I think it includes the time, I believe. We'll have to double check that, but
Sure.
But that is now at $2,999, $2,999. Again, also great savings, a savings of $451. And for anyone who's interested in the Read, the normal price is $1,990, $1,990. And now through the end of the year, through December 25th, it's $1,690. So a good $300 savings. So truly incredible. I want to thank OrCam for really doing everything in their power to offer these reduced, prices to be able to help out individuals now through the holidays. Again, if you're looking for a device, now is the time, because these prices are not going to last very long. So I just want to put that out there. If anyone has any questions, you can send them through the Q&A or raise your hand. We have just a couple more minutes. I'm going to read here a question that did come through here.
Sure.
A gentleman says, I have an original OrCam. Can I get Bluetooth added somehow to the model?
So I'll explain. So the original OrCam came as like it was a very thick, heavy battery pack, and it was attached by a wire,
right?
Which then went up to your glasses, and one model magnetically mounted, another model actually had like an attachment that
Right.
went to it. So it was a little heavy. People complained about the wire. I had one guy constantly getting it hooked onto doorknobs every time he walked by, and it would pull it off the glasses.
Right.
And so the MyEye 2 or the MyEye Pro came out, and now that's a wireless system. So it asked if he can. What was sorry?
So you asked as
could he
far
upgrade?
yeah, bro. So I believe I know the answer. The answer. So
Right.
go ahead.
Well, the answer is no.
No. The answer is no.
Right.
However, there is a trade-in promo for $1,650, and you do get a new MyEye Pro. So if you have an older device and you want to upgrade it, we do have that promotion available. I would request that you call our office for that. You'd want to call the direct number 410-431-2020. That's got 410-431-2020. And of course, all the devices are available online with the reduced pricing through December 25th at thelowvisionshop.com, thelowvisionshop.com. I encourage everyone to take advantage of that before those prices go right back up in January. Let's see what else here. So this gentleman, I thank you, Charles, doesn't have the first model. He's a 2-year-old model. Doesn't have the wire or the battery pack. Just needs an upgrade for Bluetooth.
So that you would know better than me.
Yeah,
I'm on the teaching and training end and examining.
You know what? I believe that would still you would still need to go to the Pro because it's the hardware that doesn't have that capability. So if you would want that, it would have to be upgraded for the $1,650. That is the way to go.
What I suggest, Charles, is probably give a call to the Low Vision store. Call Barry to discuss that.
You can call me. You can speak with Steven. You can speak with Joe. You can speak with Melody. You can speak with Diane. We are all here and happy to assist. And the MyEye Smart does tell the time. I have a little birdie telling me, feeding me some information here. Yes, the MyEye Smart does tell the time. You're very welcome, Charles. If anyone here has any other questions before we go, I want to really appreciate everyone for joining us today. I hope you found this to be an informative, interactive webinar, and hope everyone is excellent. Thank you, B. A big shout out to Mr. B. Fox coming to us from Arizona.
Hello, Ben Fox. Sorry I missed you today. I hope to see you again. I saw him at CSUN, and I look forward to us meeting again soon.
Awesome. And so, again, anyone else has any other questions? I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. Don't be shy. Again, raise your hand. We don't bite. But we are here.
And if there's any professionals out there, just to say,
Absolutely.
we do in the low vision realm, or just eye doctors or anybody else in the vision industry, it's really simple to demo the device. We did an extended demo right now, but demoing it can be less than 2 to 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be this whole, we wanted to really showcase everything it can do and get more into the nitty gritty.
Absolutely. And feel free to reach out. For any professionals out there, feel free to reach out directly to us. Again, at the 410-431-2020. And you can ask for Barry, and I will get back to you. One last question. How long does the battery last in the MyEye Pro?
So that's always the big question. So that's what's great about having the Charge Me, because you can charge it up to 4 times on the go. So it's about 90 minutes of full straight
charge?
use. Straight use.
That's 90 minutes straight use. That's a lot of reading.
Mm-hmm. So, but it depends also. Sometimes you can turn certain features on or off to save on battery life.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm hoping as time goes on, just like everything else, as batteries are going to get better, battery life is going to get longer. But no, it's a lot of reading. Yes,
absolutely. So, all right. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Wishing everyone good health. Happy holidays. Again, everything available at thelowvisionshop.com. I want to thank Dr. Bryan Wolynski for making the trip down here to Baltimore so we can do this live from Baltimore, from the showroom here. It's a whole different experience versus doing it on a Zoom. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Definitely.
And we look forward to seeing you soon. Again, any questions, 410-431-2020, thelowvisionshop.com, and wishing everyone happy holidays. We're saying so long from Baltimore, and we'll see you soon. Be well.